You might be wondering why, and some people do, and they ask me why I use my young nephews in so many of my posts. Before, it used to be toddler tips because they were toddlers, and they're 2020 and 2022 born. So one is 3 and one is 5 now. So why do I use them? Because our children, or the children around us, we live in a multi-family home, so we spend a lot of time with them. So I'm not just an auntie, I'm kind of like an auntie mom. So they are mirrors of everything that we offer them, good or bad. They are also reflections of us from the way that their brain sees it. And their brain sees it more black and white. Their brain sees it or processes it in the way that they do, sometimes more in a more pure way. And I love that part as well, because we forget that we have that in us. We just lose it over time, where it's covered with our training, right? So my example today is all about curiosity again. Staying curious, my friends, especially in relationships. So made them dinner. They requested natto rice and tamago, which is egg. And they love that because they're Japanese. They eat it all the time. I don't like natto rice, but I love egg. So make it for them, serve them. The 5-year-old is just like shoveling it in. I'm really scared of how much food we're gonna have to get when they get older. But that's a side note. So the 3-year-old, he looks at me very serious and says, "Auntie, if I eat this tamago, this egg, I'm gonna throw up." Then he makes the face. He does that just so I don't lose the meaning. And I said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Are you not feeling good?" He goes, "No, if I eat this tamago, I'm going to throw up." And I said, "Okay, so by the way, if I wasn't curious, I could have got offended. I made you dinner, you're not eating dinner." You know, sometimes parents do that, sometimes we do that. So, or I could have been like, "What?" Because sometimes I do that. That's my thing. Whether it's not a bad thing usually on my side, but it can be read that way. So I'm like, "What?" You know, I could have even done that. So I'm like, "Wait, I don't understand. You wanted tamago and natto rice. You asked for it. So why don't you want to eat it?" "Because it will make me throw up." And so I had to keep my laugh in. And I said, "Okay, so you don't want the tamago?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Why?" And then he says, so we've been watching them a lot because my brother's in the hospital, so their mom has been gone. So it was about the 4th or 5th day that she wasn't there for dinner. So he says, "Mommy's tamago. I only want mommy's tamago." And I go, "Oh, but tamago is tamago. Egg is egg." And his brother goes, "Yeah," while he's eating. "Egg is egg. Tamago is tamago." And he said, "No." Very serious. "No, Auntie. I only want and I only like mommy's tamago." And I was like, "Okay, so you don't want to eat that?" "No." I said, "Okay, just eat your rice. Do you want something else?" And then I gave him options and he chose something else. So in that situation, sometimes when parents are busy or whatever, I've seen it so much. We do it in relationship too. When someone says something that we don't expect or we don't understand, or because we did something for them, we get offended, like, "Oh, you're ungrateful," or whatever, which a lot of kids get, but also in spouses and partners. We can be like, "Oh, you don't want to eat it? I just spent all day making that for you," or something like that. Instead of being curious, right? And I'm so glad that I did, because I think I created a safe space for him to express how much he misses his mommy versus fighting with him about the egg. So, and if you really think about it, that's what we do in relationship sometimes. We fight about our feelings about something versus what's actually happening and the facts of the situation. So I love my nephews because, and I love our relationship because I have helped, I think, to create, it seems like it because they tell me the truth about everything. I've created a safe space for them to tell me, especially when they don't like something or don't want something. So they have a voice, basically. So take care of you, take care of your relationship, stay curious. Even if your feels or your feelings get kind of, just stay curious and ask about what's actually happening. Take care of you.